Hi, Mayco.
Yes.
Thank you so
Hi.
much for joining us today. This is another episode of A Studio of One's Own, which is named after Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, and it is a weekly dialogue session that seeks to reach out to artists from quiet corners of the world and catch up with them on their changing routines now that they are being confined to their home space. So
I see.
Mayco Naing is a contemporary visual artist who was born in Myanmar, and her photographic works delves deep into her social environment and the identities of spaces around her. So before I begin, Mayco, how are you doing? And can you give us a little update on how your life has been since the quarantine has begun?
Hello, and this is Mayco Naing. Yes, and actually, the pandemic is one pandemic is starting in Myanmar very late. What I can say, for example, like starting news is coming out in February, but like we start the close down in March 27. So it's like, and also people are really we really. How do we say that starting from February we really listen the news from the abroad and around the world, but after March 27 they really closed everything, and fortunately and situation in Myanmar like fortunately and April first, actually the first week of April to the last week of April there's a and Happy New Year for the Pageant Festival. So it's already,
Oh,
yeah, it's already the 20 days, sometimes like 10 days of their holidays. So people used to be not working. So it's fortunately when the every holidays is coming, but we cannot enjoy the water festival as a gathering. So it's like in the whole April it's not very different, and the March 27th is starting close, but the whole April is only holiday as
oh
usual in Myanmar.
wow.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's very lucky we don't really losing business than other country. Like for example in Myanmar we have a situation of how do we say that the business and also the we are not very strong in the developed country developing. I mean like no, I mean so it's like we don't really losing very bad. So because this is kind of a 1 month um 1 month holidays in between, and yeah,
ah,
this is the situation.
oh, I see. So you guys already originally had a holiday. So when the
Yeah,
lockdown happened,
yes,
oh, I
yes.
see, I see. So it's just
And
that you guys can't go out anymore. Are you still
yeah,
allowed to leave the house?
we cannot go out, and then it is not like in the okay in 27 you stop everything. It's not like that. So it's a week after they stop by the bus stop, and then after a week they stop all the transportation around the country. So it's little by little, so people not very locked inside this
Mm,
and not very trouble about that by the law.
okay.
Yes.
Wow. That says a lot about, Myanmar as a country. And I'm wondering, since your work, kind of explores a lot of these social interactions. So how has the pandemic, did it reveal something to you about like the Myanmarese people that you're surprised by or something?
Yeah, actually, the hygiene is very challenging here, and
Mm,
Myanmar is big. The same as the France, big one,
yes.
and also the hygiene is very at this time like people used to really difficult to adopt the hygienic to like all the white population. Okay, the first the marks and also the you cannot touch the people, and you cannot touch really have to be wash the hand. So it's
Yes.
like it is a lot of all the communication is aware of it, television, radio,
Mm,
and Facebook. Of course, in Myanmar, the Facebook is the main media in here, and also the telephone message operator, everything is working about that. Plus, we are so lucky to have a associate in the Facebook. So she creates immediately for pandemic she created the Facebook account and she announced everybody, I will be here for you.
Wow. Wow, that's so nice. That's honestly very
Yes,
admirable. Yeah.
yes. So this is so people are very easy to access to her. I mean, like we
Mm.
can see actually every week, Saturday, Sunday, she make it off in the Facebook, but like she every 2 days a time or 3 days a time, she's in the radio and television in Facebook Live for 1.5 hours to talk about all the ministry
Wow.
about pandemic. So it's like a health ministry of health, ministry of department of everything like that in charge. They are in Facebook instead of meeting in the out. She used visual meeting 1 hour, and then we listen. The whole country is listening.
Wow. That shows some sense
It's
of
change.
unity.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
change.
it's funny that like even during the pandemic now there's more communication, right? Like before that maybe there's not as much commitment to this. But wow, that's really, really nice to hear. Um I'm interested, because like you say that there is not much of a change in terms of business wise, but
Mm.
I guess like in terms of like social life, there is like an interruption because everyone is no longer going out to meet people and they're being confined to your home. And I know, so like I'm wondering how your art processes has changed because you're no longer able to go out and take photos of people. And so what do you do now instead?
I see. So it's like if about me, I have to talk like actually I was working in February mostly the Yangon
Mm.
Photo Festival. What I'm working for every year. So festival is habited to start working at all the February. So after the February, I start the pandemic is coming, so it's like the time for rest for me. I mean,
Yes.
the holiday is coming, so and unfortunately, our festival have been a little bit of challenging. There's a pandemic news every day, and of course, some of our guests from China they cannot come. This
Mm.
year we invite the 2-3 artists from China. They cannot come, so
Oh
it's
no.
like an end of the February. It's like my practice is not very changing because the time of my work ending festival ended. So it's
I
like
see.
the festival is ending, like I start to the start a holiday, like I have off day. So it's
Ah.
yeah, I have off day, and then I start to look at my things like, okay, the work process is finished, but like okay, this is the festival things, and I start to see my work first, because
Mm.
every year in March, I told you that April is holiday as after the other people are like same as me, so it's a holiday, and but holiday is not going out, but this time in the pandemic and look at the work of it.
Mm.
So I start actually in March. So it's like starting the pandemic. I start trying to the first thing I start trying to do that what I can do for me, and then of course like I cannot go out, and then I start how do we say that I start writing the text about
Mm.
the face series, what I did it
Yes.
now for 3 years already, and it is 3 or 4 years already. And starting from 2016, I travel with the Yangon Photo Festival around the country. For example, like in a 6 month, we are out of the home. So to
Mm.
work with the photographer, and then every year I work with the new 100 photographer to uh, to teach and how to tell the stories. So and also our festival is working as a journalism documentary, very uh, journalism storytelling. So it's like it is mostly like problems and issues and social problem. So it's like for starting from that, I follow them, and also I try to do my own project when I teach in period. So in the
Mm.
face series, I try to uh, capture and photograph not as the documentary way, but other way. And plus, I follow the issue or the storytellers and then that's why like it's a lot of time to take, and then all the pictures are the same for 2-3 years. But the story of no storytelling, because like I was so much into this story of their I mean the social problem issue, like very heartbroken story. So that's why like I did this one.
Wow, I'm really interested in this series Faces, because I think it's like such a great project that you've carried with you for so long. So
Yeah.
you know, how that now, where do you plan to release it? And I know you've shared it on social media, because I
Yes.
think, and yeah, like I think now, you know, with the pandemic, with exhibitions being cancelled, everything is moving online, and
Yeah.
social media is becoming like a great tool to just share art. What do
Yeah.
you think about it? Do you think it is a good replacement or alternative to physical spaces and exhibitions, or do you think, you know, as a media artist, since you're a photographer as well?
Actually, I'm in a pandemic time. I changed my mentality first, because actually my work I never put in the social media or even a website. When anything, I don't really post it. I try to see people myself, or I try to talk with the maybe with the email with my personal portfolio. I already send, like for example, portfolio review. I love so much, so I go to see people what's my work. But in the pandemic, I start change my things, like okay, you forget it, because like it's so far. I don't know, like 2 years or 1 year is like we have to be confined. We don't know. So I start putting my work to the publicity. I don't really create the website, but I start to create the album in Instagram album. So it's like I start upload my work, and then one by one every day. Sometimes like in the 100 days, like, but I really take time to post my work from 2013, 2012, 2009.
Wow.
Like, so it's archiving. I start upload, and then I feel okay, it's no problem. Your work in the social media. What is the problem? It's no problem. People can see it, and as you can show. So it's like I start changing that one, my mentality first. Okay, so I really in 100 days, like I have my one-off album in the internet, so people can see it and I can access easily. So this is I did it.
That's so great, honestly. Yeah, like I totally understand this, like, you know, hesitation to put your stuff online for everyone to see, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But wow, like have you, you know, so now that all your you know, your works and stuff are online, have you received a lot of reception? Like are people, you know, being more, it's now it's more accessible to the public. So how do you feel, like do you think it's a good thing, and do you think you will continue to do this even after the pandemic has, you know, resolved?
I mean, for the portfolio, it's like just only, I mean, for the portfolio or album in Instagram, I will continue more. And then sometimes like I try to look at my album, and then, okay, I needed some more and I needed some more. It's like you create more, and then maybe you find your archive more, and you find your experience more, and then to do more. And plus, it needs to be more, I mean, more website or more social exhibition as a visual, and then it's not very how to say. I will not say no. Somebody asked me, because like I already do something there, and then you can look at it. So it's like it's great to start.
Yes, definitely. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I see like even festivals are moving online as well. Like, I know some of this Chinese China book festivals have been cancelled or postponed or moved online. And I
Yeah.
was wondering, since, you know, Yangon Photo Festival next year, if the pandemic was still going on, will you guys shift to an online platform, or how is that going to impact the edition in 2021?
I see. So I will tell you about that. And okay, so we finished in February, and then our team is still working now as a festival. So
Oh
it's like,
yes.
yeah, our director is French, Christophe Leveny. He doesn't go back his home. He stay
Mm.
here, and also because he trying to plan for the next year. So it's like, yeah, still now we don't really think about the next year will be possible or not, because like we believe that it's possible, so we're doing that. And
Yes, yes.
it's like sometimes like thinking about, are you lying for next year, you are dreaming? No, it's not like that. But and at the same time we plan for the next year. We cannot travel, but like we trying to do something mini exhibition here already now. So in this May, June 12 we start to exhibit our new festival, no, Yangon Photo Festival small event.
Mm.
So, and this is about the children working in Myanmar. So, and of
Wow.
course, the ILO is involved and the Ministry of Labor is involved. So, when the pandemic is starting to open the transportation, we start exhibition events there, but without celebration. For example,
Okay.
like in the train station, in the Dalat ferry, and the kind of uh, transportation area people is around, we are trying to tell the story as an exhibit. For example, like we install at night, midnight, and the boat. We installation, and
Mm.
next morning people are going there, and we can see them. They have a photo exhibition in the transportation main hall.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, so the one we working about, like, okay, if you cannot do celebration, we don't do. But for the picture, it's like you cannot touch the picture, and also exhibition is like hanging. So we adjust the time. People crowded, so we don't do, and now we do it at the, for example, like shopping mall. So when they start already, they have a stories there. So we do this kind of how do you say that, the hanging exhibition plus, and of course, like this is we have a Myanmar stories and 3 minutes video for every week, all the social issues there. So this week is about the child labor in Myanmar. So
Mm.
this is a big issue. A lot of people have to attention. Child need to go to school, and a lot of people doesn't care about children walking in the street. So
Mm.
this is the one of the festival event now. So we are a
Wow.
little busy, and I like it.
It's a good kind of busy, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. But I think it's so interesting that, like, even during a pandemic, like you said, the artist is important because you guys have to be telling the stories of, these social issues. And recently, actually, in Singapore, there was a public poll that was published by the national paper that said that artists are the most non-essential job. And so, like, it stirred up a lot of drama. Yeah, and like most people were quite, I think they were upset, or like they were confused by the poll. But I mean, I'm interested to know your opinions on what the role of an artist is during like crisis.
I see. I see. So, mostly like here we are not very big art industry here. Just uh, mostly like artists are trying to, for example, um, of course, the gallery like a Myanmar art or a contemporary gallery, they have to close,
Mm.
and and also the at the time. Uh, most of the artists have, we, how do we say that, the first 2 week 2 months we don't really connection, like we just only go by, hey, how are you, from far away with a telephone and message, but we don't really know that they have their, how is the business is going on. But after the April, galleries are contact us and talk
Mm.
about, okay, so if you have this, let us know, what is your problem, what is your I mean, like even budget, but they don't know how to help, but like we take care of each other, how is it, blah blah blah. So I got received the 2 or 3 galleries to call me, and then how is it, what are you working, and then is it okay, for example, instead of you have a more work or not, but are you okay, so it's good,
Oh,
they
yeah.
are taking off. And then, okay, can I have an interview, like you are talking to me, but like with the writing or social media for
Mm.
Facebook. So it starts sharing, and from Yam Art is asking for the other other artists, photographer and curator, and so starting at the time, people know each other on the Facebook, and then what are they doing, and mostly the a lot of artists are similarity to do that. They trying to get it back, what is it going on next, and what are they doing before.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's a lot of talking about them, and the ongoing project, and they became more motivation at home, and think about that somebody who is not access for the equipment, and they explain and share, and for example like movie, like experimental movie, they share it. So it's like mostly the sharing experience. So it's feeling that the galleries are managed to say that you are not alone.
Wow, that is very nice. It's like a community, like a sense of very
Community.
strong community.
Yeah, but we don't have 100 artists. We had 30, 40, 20, like a different group, you know. Graffiti artists is like the group of them, and then director is group of them, and also the photographer and the painter, so that we all link. And another artist like Mozart, which is famous artist in Hong Kong, and then he was trying to make a Zoom meeting for every Sunday. So, and that the kind of title is like who you admire in art. So it's like kind of we don't need to talk about myself. I don't really need to talk about my work, but what I like. So it's like people are really imagination. Like this is the Taylor, which is a great artist in Myanmar, who's based in the UK before, but now he came back to Yangon. And then so it's like all the performance artists, and then so they are talking about somebody who is admired.
Wow.
Even gallery or curator or little piece or it's like Tokyo Museum. So it's like we are listening every Sunday with a Zoom, and we enjoying it.
Wow.
I was like, for me, like, maybe I am okay person. I go somewhere and I try to enjoy. So maybe I have a lot to talk.
No, it sounds great. Like it sounds like suddenly, you know, artists are taking a step back from like creating works, but just like listening and like like communicating with one another and sharing all these art inspirations.
Yeah.
And that's so important for the art process, right? It's not just always about like making the artwork, but also just about researching and like taking time to like hear each other's experiences. Wow, it must be such a change from just you know, going to art celebrations and shows every week or something like that. Wow, so
Yeah.
that's really nice.
Actually, that I was talking like I don't know. I'm not sure after the pandemic, maybe until December. We don't know there's for example, new festival is working or one that I mean like okay like even a museum is opening or everybody's are working. I don't know, but like now my feeling that we are united and that we openly talk. And then just only we have a teacup and then we talk, hey, like we don't have 1 hour before like that. Now we are here. So
Yeah,
it is good.
it is so good. And also I guess like having this online like Zoom or these online meetings is so much more convenient, and you find yourself talking to people you won't even talk to in real life for longer. Wow,
Yes.
that's great. I mean, it sounds like there is a lot of very positive community, and it seems like the pandemic brings you all closer as an art industry.
I
That's
see.
great. Okay, I have actually a question based on the fact that, you know, your work has actually been exhibited quite around the world, like in Southeast Asia. But
Yes.
now that, you know, with the pandemic and the borders being closed, how do you see, you know, how do you feel like we can still sustain like cross-cultural sharing of art to different audiences? Yeah.
Okay, let me think about the question. Okay, can you ask me a little bit more again? I want to more clear about that.
Okay, so I'm thinking like, you know, with borders being closed, because now we can't travel as artists, right? And
I see.
it's harder to share your work with an audience that does not just belong in Myanmar. So maybe
I see.
like how do you tell Myanmar stories of Myanmar to a Singapore audience or things like that? Do you think it's important? And like if the pandemic goes on for a long time, how do we combat this?
And I think it's okay, but not. I mean, for 1 year, 2 year, I would think about that. Okay, we have access with email first because like most of the time in every year I exhibit actually 1 or 2 times in exhibition. For example, like I don't really do it that every week or every month. I don't really exhibit, but some of the exhibition I'm not there. curator is already curate. So it possible, for example, like I haven't been in Sri Lanka, I haven't been in UK, I haven't been in Germany, but I showed my work there. So it's like connection. The main answer is like, of course, people cannot come to you. You cannot go there, and because the border is closed, for example, like I want to go to Japan, but I have no chance. But there, I can contact from Japan University, or I can contact the Japanese artists to learn more, and maybe I can show my portfolio, and then we can talk about that. Of course, you cannot really easy access by person, but some of the exhibitions happening without artists, a lot of around the world, for example, like museum or a big festival or art festival is a habitat without artists. So it's like, be prepared by myself or by yourself to learn and not to lose the connection is my answer.
Wow, that's true. It's about like the mindset more than just, the real borders, the physical borders.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so I guess I have a question to ask. Like, Gwen is a little interested if, during the pandemic, how does your day-to-day change, and if you are even currently working on anything, a new project maybe, while you're being at home.
Okay, I changed my habit. Like actually, I have a lot of time. Actually, extra time, right?
Yes.
It's like, okay, like a 1 hour is so many time to finish, and then probably like, so it's like a category. And okay, I will start talking about my daily life. I start cleaning my studio apartment, and I start cleaning, and I change. So it's like, okay, and then after that, I cook. Of course, like in Myanmar, we are trendy for cooking. So a lot of housewives are starting to cook. I don't know, like around the world. I don't know in Singapore. Are you baking, or how do you do?
Everyone is baking. There was a whole,
I see. So I start to explore. Like I don't really want to be different, or I don't really want to be avoid to the people follow. I was follow the mood. Okay, let's do it. Let's eat. So it's like, and also the after I start to I told you that I start to upload my work in the in the social media. Plus I found out a new technique, like small little things. For example, like I will tell you the watercolor ink project. So for example, like I start creating, like, okay, I brought one of the used printer, Epson, very small little things, and then I start to buy it, and then I take off all the ink, throw away, but like I put in my watercolor ink.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and also there's a volume to how to adjust your printing ink is working. So it's like a water volume. I have to all the time testing. So the normal watercolor, I make it a little bit water, and then the printer is working with only black. So I put it there, watercolor paper and watercolor ink, but I don't draw. The printer is drawing.
Wow, does it work?
Yeah, it is like for a month I was busy for that. Of course. I have a 22 picture, which is the Sufi dancing from Turkey. So it's like I was creating this kind of, and also this kind of black and white only. So you are in the white paper, black is painting. So only the picture with the black ink. And then I have a lot of medium to test, like this paper or this quality or this ink or this is photography, but like creating something is more exciting. But I cannot paint, but printer can paint it, like, so it's maybe.
That
so
sounds
I did it
amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. Find a fan of what can we do? So it's like ink everywhere in hand, but the photograph one day one photograph, sometimes 2 photographs, sometimes 4 photographs. So maybe after the talking, I will send you how is the result, and it's enjoyable photography. It's good.
It is. It's like a whole new way of taking photographs, because you're trying to like make an image with a second source or something.
Yes.
That's so cool. So does it look like a painting, or does it look like a photograph?
It's actually, I will tell you, it is a telephone photography, for example, like Samsung. And then so it's like a lot of noise, a lot of noise. and also it's not by photograph, it's not by camera, but telephone. So I try to change. I take off all the color and I color only black. So it's like how do you say? You are playing with noise.
So there's a lot of
Noise.
texture.
Yeah, noise is in the print. You have a pixelate, but ink you cannot pixelate. This spread. So it's like a little dot and then very dark. So it's like I can find a lot of darkness. Okay, little dark, small dark, gray dark, and dark dark, and also spreading dark. So it's kind of
Wow.
great.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, Mayco. I'm that sounds so cool. Yeah, so I guess I guess we have one last question because we have to rush for another interview. But you know, how do you think the art industry will emerge from this? And do you think a lot will have changed from the pandemic, or do you think most of it will just remain the same?
And actually, I think that's gonna be changed. I think that's gonna be changed. For example, like a lot of even for the small little time, we think about that. Okay, people cannot touch. What is it now? What happened? Like it's lifestyle is changed, and of course, society and business and of course the law is changed. We never think about this law is happened. We never less 5 months ago. We never think about we cannot touch, and
Yes.
It's not possible. It's not possible to. But it's happened, and then for that mostly the more the creativity will be more come maybe philosophy. They will based in philosophy, I think, for my thinking. So it's like they will think because you are stuck somewhere and then your body is not working, but your brain is working more than before. So it's like not everybody, but a lot of people will start thinking, and this thinking will be move something changing. Maybe we will resign in 2001, 2021 or 22 maybe.
Wow.
So and we don't really know that the creator how they will curate, and also a lot of how do you say the amateur new artists will come in on more because they are more access. You know, they are more access to for example like a very starting artist will come up, I think. So it's like more the curator one curator group of knowing that we can found out them.
Wow, yes, for
That's
sure.
what I think.
I like what you said about how you know, the body may not be working, but because we're all at home, we are being forced to think a lot, and that's really interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So I answered your question or not?
Yeah, you did. Thank you so much, Mayco. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today and speaking with me.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. And then I was so happy to see you and Miss Gwen.